Today's numbers are likely going to surprise you, and they may just be a sign of the times. Welcome back to the top 10 selling cards from Magic the Gathering this week from September 17th to the 21st of 2024. As we start getting closer to the wind out of the year, well, these numbers are something to pay attention to. So let's get this started. Stay tuned. Hi everyone and welcome back. MTG Moxman here, and thank you again for hanging out with me on my channel today. A reminder, if you enjoyed today's content, to like and subscribe to my channel. Turn on your notification bell as I put out new content every single day. Now, of course, you can also support me by using my TCG Player affiliate link found in the description of all my videos. If you click that link, we get a 3.5% kickback for everything you buy, so thanks again. Now, our number 10 card is from Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate, and that is the Rug of Smothering. It had 430 sales this week, which is only $170.50 to take the number 10 position. I mean, this card only averages 25 cents a card. But what's going on here really is just, it's showing where players are right now. They are building new things. They are still buying cards, just not in volume and not the expensive ones right now. Now, for the Rug of Smothering, it's a 3 casting cost artifact creature construct that's a 1/3 with flying. But it does say whenever a player casts a spell, they lose 1 life for each spell they've cast this turn. Now, this is all related to Duskmourn and the Commander deck, so pay attention because Visigoth, Vologoth, whatever that guy's, the Lord of that Realm's deck is, it's getting a lot of attention, and there's a lot of sales like this that are going to keep happening. Now, our number 9 card this week comes to us from Duskmourn. It's a pre-order pre-sale, but I can still track down enough copies to give us a solid number of 444. Still a lot lower than I would have anticipated, but that's still a volume of $4,923.96. This card right now has an average price of $11.09, and it's continuing to lose value. It's not going to hold up right now, but there's a lot going on with this card that players are aware of, and they are kind of honing in on what this thing could be. So let's take a closer look. Remember, it's 1 black and 2 generic for this card. And when we take a look at it, you'll see here, it is a zombie assassin. Remember zombie decks, guys. Remember zombie decks? We haven't heard from those in a while. It has Death Touch, and it says, whenever Unstoppable Slasher deals combat damage to a player, they lose half their life rounded up. When Unstoppable Slasher dies, if it had no counters on it, return to the battlefield with 2 stun counters. This is kind of insane, guys. It's a very powerful card, and in a zombie deck, this thing's gonna see some play. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our next card coming into the number 8 position. And this is Victimized, but it's the retro frame version from Modern Horizons 3. 603 sales, but that's only $150.75, guys. This is where things are getting a little bit nutty right now. The cards selling so far this week that I'm showing you are very low volume cards. We are not looking at the top tier $100 Magic cards right now. It's not how it's going down. Now, Victimize, of course, is a 1 black, 2 generic sorcery that says, choose 2 target creature cards in your graveyard. Sacrifice a creature, and if you do, return the chosen cards to the battlefield tapped. It's a great card, very powerful, insane, gonna see a lot of play. But at the same time, it's not an expensive card. It's a reprint card that's been around for quite a while. It just shows that players are like, I need some copies of this. I wonder how I'm going to fit this into that Duskmourn Commander deck. Because that's where all these things seem to be headed, and it's something to be aware of. Players are honing in on these cards, and they're not really buying anything else, but you'll see that as we go along. Now, for our next card coming in at number 7, this is Enduring Vitality. Now, this one here again is Duskmourn pre-sales, 645 sales. That comes in at $1,967.25. I mean, let's not forget, this is the pre-release weekend, guys. I have some pre-releases tomorrow lined up, so it's one of those things to pay attention to. Now, this card comes in at $3.05, and there will be winners and losers in Duskmourn as well as surrounding sets when we find more synergy for these cards. But let's take a closer look here at Enduring Vitality. Now, it's 2 green, 1 generic for a 3/3 enchantment creature, Elk Glimmer. Wow, that's a word mouse sandwich right there. It has Vigilance. Creatures you control have tap to add 1 color of any mana to your mana pool. When Enduring Vitality dies, if it was a creature returned to the battlefield under its owner's control, it's an enchantment, not a creature. That's great. This thing comes back again. It's hard to get rid of. People are going to like things like this. It may not be the most expensive card, but it's definitely going to see gameplay. It's definitely going to see commander play. There's a lot of enchantment action going on out there. Now let's go ahead and stop in and take a look at the next card. Now we're taking a look at the Razorkin Needlehead. What a great name, Needlehead. Now, again, this is 812 sales, $2,639. This card comes in with an average price of $3.25. Now, anyone playing a red burn deck, anyone putting this into standard is going to see why. This card has a lot going on that players are going to appreciate. And for a price tag under $5, you're going to see play sets of 4. Now, it's a 2 red casting cost. Human Assassin. This thing has Razorkin Needlehead, has first strike during your turn. Wherever an opponent draws a card, Razorkin Needle does 1 damage to them. I'm thinking of another card. Don't worry about it. It's okay. You'll forgive me because I forgive myself. Guys, it's still going to be a great card. Now, our next one, guys. We're stopping in here, taking a look at the Marionette Apprentice. It's only $1.31. It's an uncommon. Now, this thing had 990 sales, or $1,236.90 of total sales action. So what's going on with a card like this? Why are people picking up on it? Well, actually, this card got picked up about 3 weeks ago, where it hit my top 10 before, and it had around the same amount of sales. It seems like people are kind of needling in on this guy and picking off a few things. This card has a little bit going on, and players need to be aware. Fabricate's a great thing, don't get me wrong. But for a single black and 1 generic, this Human Artificer has Fabricate 1, right? When this creature enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on it or create a 1/1 servo token. Remember, servo token is an artifact. You can sack those bad boys. Whenever another creature or artifact you control is put into a graveyard, each opponent loses a life. Whew, this thing's got a lot going on. You can see why people like it. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at our next card. Again, not expensive cards though, right? Here we've got the Mage Bane Lizard. This thing's $2.60 to take the number 4 position with 1,034 sales, or $2,688.40 of total sales action. This card acts as a mini wall, which I like. It can't just be bolted. For 1 red, 1 generic, it is a 1/4. It is a lizard, so it's not like it's legendary or anything. So what do we got going on with the lizard? Well, let's take a closer look at this bad boy. Because the lizard artwork I actually kind of appreciate, but it's the card itself. Whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, Mage Bane Lizard deals 1 damage to that player, equal to the number of non-creature spells they've cast this turn. Guys, this is awesome. It's going to just be one of those pain cards that you have to deal with. You don't want to think about it, and people who ignore it are likely going to lose the game. So this is a card people are going to know about. Now for our next card, as we stop in, you're going to see here we're getting closer to the end of the list. Here's Underworld Dreams, again, directly related to Duskmourn. Now, this card actually gained significant value. It gained about 10%. Now, this thing had 1,102 sales, which is $1,102 because it's a $1 card. But you can see it actually upticked. This is the Theros version, guys, but everyone is starting to buy these cards to augment the commander deck from Duskmourn. Most of the cards on today's list, you'll notice, relate to that commander deck. It shows you how many people are building it. Pay attention, guys. Remember, decks like this will have that initial inertia and then slowly fade out. So this kind of card is going to go back to being like a 50, 60 cent card. But all those commander decks are still built out there, and every single one of them probably used a lot of similar cards. We're going to have a lot of fun in the next few weeks. It's going to be brutal at my commander group. All right, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at our next card. Now, for the next one, you're used to this one too because it was on the list last week. Here's Roiling Vortex. Now, this is, of course, from Battle for Zendikar, Zendikar Rising. So confusing. So many Battle for Zendikars out there. So Zendikar Rising, 1,681 sales, $4,084.83 of total sales action. This card averages $2.43 on average. When I look at the card, guys, I love this back in the day. I used this when it came out, and I look at it now and go, it makes perfect sense to add it to your commander deck from the Duskmourn set. Enchantment. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, it deals 1 damage to them. So you're going to be drawing cards all the time, and you're going to be taking damage and drawing cards and getting counters and taking. It's going to be awesome. Whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, if no mana was spent to cast a spell, it deals 5 damage to that player. Insane. And you can also make it so they can't gain life. Roiling Vortex has a lot of good stuff attached to it for a very low price tag. But it's not the number 1 card, is it? No, it's not. Because that's right, Bloomburrow holds on to the number 1 spot this week, although there are no other Bloomburrow cards on the list. The Patchwork Banner comes in with 1,920 sales. That's $6,374.40. This card is still on wish list. It's still hard to find, and the pack openings for Bloomburrow have really slowed down. Most people I know have bought 1 or 2 packs here and there, but it's just not opening on volume, which means this card is still highly sought after and in demand, and I'm glad the price isn't jumping up too high, but you might look about 60 to 90 days out and see this card starts creeping up again. So if you're a player who wanted to get this card, this is probably a good price point to get in and get your 4 copies for like the $13 US and just call it a day if you plan on using this in standard. So guys, great cards, great things on the list, but we have a little bit more to cover here at the end of the video. So stick around as we go into the wrap-up section. There's a lot going on the finance side that we need to talk about what's happening in Magic right now at the end of the year. The video today and the numbers you're looking at clearly demonstrate how popular Commander is. Over 50% of the cards in the top 10 this week were all Commander related directly to the Duskmourn Commander deck. That new Demon Lord guy is having a lot of interest from players, and they are all building on that and buying the singles related to what he can do. The idea of taking damage and drawing cards and then putting counters on the actual commander is going to make him an insane card for a lot of fun times around the table, but it also demonstrates the power level of a card, and the interest that follows that card means the sales that surround him and the ancillary cards that are impacted by him will continue to see tremendous movement on the sales listings. Enough so that they make the top 10. Now the good thing is, after this set drops, interest will die down. We'll probably go a little bit backwards to Bloomburrow and maybe a little bit further back to Outlaws at Thunder Junction. Pay attention to those cards. There's also a few things to take note of, which is some of the cards you would have expected to still be seeing some sales right now are not actually selling. Some of the higher end cards like the talents aren't really on this list. They sold less than 150 copies because the Innkeeper's talent, those talents, the Caretaker's talents, they're pretty expensive still for most players right now, or the players who bought them already own them. But as the sales from Duskmourn wear off and then we start to see what's going on with Foundations, if Foundations doesn't have a good linkage, if it doesn't have good synergy for players, and the reprints don't look good that are being added in, you're going to see players revert back to Bloomburrow and start picking up some of those cards because the wallets are wearing a little bit thin. We only have so much cash to spend, and players would rather get cards they know they want than just buy random boxes. Yes, boxes can be addictive, but they don't hold the same allure they used to, and that's because of the price point. Wizards is trying to probably fix this at this point because the comfort level of people buying these boxes is not like it used to be. There's also some sales on the reserve list that probably should be happening right now, and they're not. But I'll save that for tomorrow's video because we can cover that in the reserve list top 10. So thank you again for hanging out with me today on the video. Hope you guys found this video fun, informative, and I can't wait to see your comments in the comment section because if you're building one of these decks, I've just got to know because there's so many people I know doing it right now that you might as well just add another 20, 30 people in there. Let me know, guys. Drop some comments. I'll see you all tomorrow for another video. Have a great day. Hey guys, a big shout out, a thank you to the fantastic patrons of my channel. Now, because of the amazing patrons supporting me each and every day, and that's all of you out there, I get to create daily uploaded content for everyone to enjoy, and I really appreciate the fact we have so many loyal patrons on the channel. Now, whether you're a YouTube membership member or a patron, it all ends up the same way. You're helping support content creation. Thanks again, everyone. Welcome back to the Ramble Jamble. Now, most of you are aware, Ramble Jamble, that it was my anniversary the other day, but today is actually my wife's birthday. So I got stuff to do. Not going to really be around much. I probably won't be answering to the Discord very much. This is, this is early Saturday morning before she's awake to get these numbers out and get the video created so I can wake up in the morning and get her day going because, she deserves a very special day for a very special person because she puts up with me, and that's pretty awesome. Always, acknowledge that because it's hard to put up with a significant other sometimes. And I know I'm no, peach cobbler pie, whatever you want to call it. I'm not all perfect. Not even close. Guys, either way, got to spend some time with Mrs. Mox. I'm looking forward to it. You guys have a great day. I will be here Sunday for the top 10. I will see you guys there. I have some preloaded shorts for you guys to enjoy, and I will see you soon. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And you kids in the background, help your parents out. Seriously, help them.